Hey everybody, BTO Pro here. I'm going to show you a rather significant breakthrough in the theming engine with HAXCMS here. So I'm going to show you what I boiled theming down to. It's pretty stinking awesome. Again, goal of this project, more or less eliminate theming as a concept. I want you to be able to just make something static and then we bring it to life. So if I go into in here, I've got system and then boilerplate, and I've added a new theme so we can see what this looks like. So there's default, which I've been playing with and I've cleaned up. Let's look at what default is. Oh my God, it's nothing. So, what we've got is a reference to the base definitions of a theme here. Pull it in as a single component. I know, really hard there. Then I've got a dynamically generated JWT, JSON Web Token evaluator. This element now does all of the processing previously seen in the outline player element. So the outline player element is devoid of more or less everything that would be considered theming. So if I look at the elements imported into my outline player, there's no JWT, there's very little anything. So what is happening is there's a CMS site editor. And so if you were to theme for HAXCMS, more or less you just have to define this. You need to define, or basically you just have to run this function, and you do it at the ready lifecycle phase. So we've got this, which is a reference to this item in question. I currently, and I'm debating whether or not I eliminate this, we need a way to the content container, and probably make that optional. And then if you want Hax, when it updates its data, to tap your theme and say, hey, refresh yourself, a reference to the name of the function to call in here, which you can see my refresh data here is basically just saying like, hey, update these values, and it'll force the theme to repull its own data. Now, if you look at where the outline player is integrated, it's literally just this. It's pointing to site.json. Now, HAXCMS is going to manage that site.json for you. So what this ends up netting us is, if I go to my little BTO Pro theme here, I've got these two buttons at the bottom. Let's see, it takes a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I got these two buttons at the bottom. Now, let's go and log out over here. All right, so I'm logged out. It's in the same token scoping domain here. So now when I refresh, way faster, no editing options. And so this is the theme, like this is the raw theme. This is just playing a file off the file system and then loading other files, in effect, that house the content of what goes in here. So if I log in, it's seemingly magic. Basically, this methodology allows this static thing to kind of unpack and go, oh, by the way, yeah, I detected that you can be edited, and so we're going to provide an authoring experience. And so the outline is now completely data bound. If I want to take out that page right there, hit save, that refresh function gets tapped in the main theme here. Let's log back out just to prove there's no magic, smoke and mirrors, and we sometimes have to super refresh on here. So there we go. So if I go to here, I'll log in again, refresh, I should get a clean pull of data. This service is firing off of Runs Nginx. So, all right, let's get rid of that guy. Save, that page goes away. Okay, log out, refresh, and that page should go away here. Getting stale data off the file system. So I actually opened up this file here. So the associated site.json, there's some like heavy Nginx caching going on. So if I blow away the cache for that, then we see it reflected in the static without the account on there. So I'm not going to lie, it's seemingly unbelievable what that is doing right there. It's kind of one of those magic of web components things. So it's detecting a JWT, and then it's basically providing the whole authoring experience. So if I want to edit, then I can edit all the niceties of Hax right? That's just there. But the theming is completely abstracted from it. If I want to modify the outline again, I can do that. I could take this item, and again, this is rough. I'm not gonna lie, right? But so I can move that stuff around. Got that item under there, and I've also got my content that I've been modifying reflected. It's pretty awesome. So another thing, let's build new thing, and the new thing is going to leverage the infinite scroll theme, which is not, the whole damn thing's a prototype, but that's also a prototype. So if I go to a new thing, or access the site for a new thing, and what we've got here, loads, is our infinite scroll prototype. Now, to look at the difference in the themes being invoked here, infinite scroll, and I know it's radically different looking, and outline player, infinite scroll, outline player. You'll see there is one line different between these, effectively. It's just importing a different element into our theme layer, if you will, and then it's loading that element. So if I look at what an infinite scroll site is, it's leveraging other web components, but it's more or less formed in a similar fashion as the other one. So there's almost no definition of HAX again. We just need to tell it where to place the content editing experience and what to call in the event of needing to refresh data. So again, HAX is not in here. It's not even referenced from in here anywhere. It's this HAXCMS JWT.php that's more or less doing magic, for lack of a better word. So what is that doing? Well, it's a PHP-derived web component, and so when we have a backend that can mix in other data, we can do some fancy stuff. So this invokes our JWT login element, and our JWT login element has two-way data binding between looking and seeing if a JWT exists for this site at the reserved address, and then testing it against the backend with paths that are dynamically generated based on the HAXCMS site in question for logging in and logging out. And then if we notice that the JWT changes, this is where the magic comes in. So if we notice that you have a JWT that is valid, which means that you have a valid login token with the server in question that this web component happens to appear on. If that is true, then we dynamically import another element, and then we dynamically append that element, passing our JWT into that element, and then place it on this page. And then that element is the entire authoring experience. So it pulls in, it's providing those buttons, it's providing all the handlers for that thing. Even the UI elements for, like updating, so that if I were to take this outline, add a bunch of stuff here, and then we hit save, even that message that appears. So there is some caching, that's involved. Again, this happens to do with DDEV, and it's local caching, but there are my additional pages that I added. So I can hit edit, and now we've got HAX modifying this different theme, quote unquote, and I can throw up a picture right in there, and we'll turn it into a self-check. And is this cool? Oh my God, yes. Okay, so we've got that element in place. Refresh, whoops. Refresh, I hit the button. I hit the button too hard because I'm really excited about this. So there we go. There's my thing. It's saved. That's loaded off the back end. And is it cool? Oh my God, it is. Okay. So this entire authoring experience, again, is being pulled in based on having a valid login token. So if anyone else hits your site, they only see this. So it's called Infinite Scroll because I'm working, and it's about like 25 minutes of effort. I'm not even kidding. So what I'm working on with this would be the idea that we would have enough content that we could hit scrollable thresholds. I don't even know if I can force it to generate. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Oh, okay, I'm starting to do it a little bit there. And so that it would change, there we go. So right now the example is just that if you hit the top of the page, it appends to the top, and if you hit the bottom of the page, it injects more content based on hitting a scroll threshold. But yeah, so this is going to be insanely easy to theme because again, theming is just basically creating an element that understands JSON outline schema, which is just an expression of items with a title and their relation to other items. And so as visualized here, it's just flat list because I can just tell you, hey, load the item after this or the item before it. And as expressed in our normal, outline player is what the name of this element is, then we get navigation that I can either present to you in a full hierarchy or you can just hammer through it linearly. But the important thing is that there are no authoring tools baked into this theme. Again, it can still be broken off, downloaded as a static package, and run on its own. And if it can run on its own, then we have this kind of decentralized organic design methodology where the system is able to churn out these little mini things that are able to function on their own, but could plug back into this system at a later date. Like, I could copy and paste this or have an quote-unquote import type of routine in which we're able to pull things between HAX instances pretty darn rapidly. Because again, they're just very simple static files. And even the files that are referenced from them are, there we go, just sitting right on the file system.